NFL has us at the venerable Superdome in downtown New Orleans. Today, we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here between the Las lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. I don't know what was going on there, but the end result, this is going to be a safety. Returnable here for Callaway. Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. That is hauled in by Michael Thomas. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
On 1st and 10, Winston. Finding Taysom Hill complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. The Saints at 4-3, a game over 500. And they coming on a pretty good roll here, winners of 3 straight.
And let's remember that last week that this offense, they played about as well as they possibly could play. Touchdown after touchdown. They were absolutely unstoppable in that game. They'll be hard-pressed to do it again, repeat that type of performance. But, boy, were they sensational just a week ago.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Jameis to throw it. That's caught. The tight end Hill. Touchdown, Saints. Taysom Hill, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are able to extend their lead.
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
Will Lutz on for the point. this is good as they extend it out now to a 9-0 lead. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Pulls it in at the 13. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they are back down to the 500 mark after 2 straight losses. And, Charles, this is a team that, to be frank, their play has really dropped off the last couple of weeks.
And, Brandon, I think there's a sense around the building that they can't let this losing streak get any worse than it is. Because if they were to lose here and fall below 500, then you're playing catch-up the rest of the way. They've got to take a stand and make it stop right now.
And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. This defense for the Saints, they were excellent a week ago in the victory over Arizona.
And I don't know what the actual percentages are, and I don't know the analytics when you create 5 turnovers or takeaways in a game. But coaches always say, when you create a number that high, your chances of winning probably up over 98%. I haven't seen that number quantified, but I believe them.
Yeah, the Saints signal for another timeout. And that's their 2nd charge timeout here in this first quarter. First carry for Josh Jacobs. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a third and about 7 left.
On a second and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on third down.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. So on fourth down, here's A.J. Cole to punt for the Raiders. Deontay Hardy deep for New Orleans. Here's Hardy set to return. 39-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. The offense coming back out here. Plenty of energy, ready to roll, looking to just add to what they have been doing after scoring a touchdown, Charles, their last time out.
And that's a great feeling to have on the sideline, partner, knowing you just won the battle against the opposing defense. And since they came off the field, I'll guarantee you all they want to do is get back out there because they know they have the upper hand on that defense right now.
A first down throw for Winston. There's Chris Olave. And he's dropped just shy of the 25 at the 24.
13 yards on the play. That's good for the Saints.
Jameis now on first down. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Denzel Perryman. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. And they're back within a couple at 9-7 now.
Makes the score Saints 9, Raiders 7.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Back to it after the pick six. Winston. He'll find his tight end. It's Adam Troutman. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
First down, Winston. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards there, good for a Saints first down.
First and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Now Winston. Thomas brings it in. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one goes for 30 yards.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
Through one quarter, 9-7 our score.
The score 6-9. Raiders 7.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Winston to give. It's Kamara. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
From the 16, Winston. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Lambert. And the Saints are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
Kamara is not going to advance very far. He'll be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
No gain on the play. Leads to 2nd and goal. At the 4-yard
Again,
line.
Kamara. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. Alvin Kamara. He has career touchdown number 78, tying in with both Eddie George and Frank Gifford on the all-time list. And they are able to add on to their advantage. The PAT up and good, but hold on a second. There is a flag. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. Fielded just outside the goal line. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14.
At their own 14-yard line.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Eluding the pressure right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
It's 2nd down and 10.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he'll look downfield for Waller. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit. Even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. And he is going to have the Raiders 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. David Onyemata there on the tackle.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Escaping the pressure right. And he'll just get rid of it.
Carr at the keeper. Thrown to the sideline and incomplete. It's 3rd down.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. They fake the handoff. Now Carr looking deep for Adams. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
So 1 first down on that drive, and that's it. Forced to take the deep shot on 3rd down and couldn't hit it. Now they have to punt this one away.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. From the gun, Winston. Looking for the out route. It's completed to Landry. If they didn't have that penalty a moment ago, it'd be a 1st down. Still a nice 13-yard pickup.
13 yards. It's now 3rd down and 8.
On 3rd down, Winston. Again, he's got that man Landry. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Great way to convert on 3rd down there. 21 yards the play. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Throwing, Winston. And he rifles one incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Here's Winston. Olave holds it in. So he stopped for no gain. And that'll bring up 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And no return here. This one's going inside the 15 to the 12-yard line.
At their own 12-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on 1st down, followed by an incompletion, one more good rep, and they get off the field.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Rolling to his left. And he'll look downfield for Waller. A big play there just before halftime. And even 40 yards. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Carr. He'll fire one end zone for Cooks. And incomplete on the deep ball.
I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. Looking deep for Adams. And unable to connect on the long pass. He actually brings it in, but he was out of bounds, incomplete. Now, you don't want to see that penalty at any point, but it adds a little extra to it when it comes on 3rd down.
It certainly does, because if this were a boxing match, they had him on the ropes there. 3rd down incompletion, 4th down upcoming. Instead, that mistake resets everything back to 1st down, which means they have to stay on the field longer to try and stop this drive.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. So we have reached halftime in what's a 6-point game at the break. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. Set now to go for the 3rd quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. Certainly not what they wanted out of the locker room here as they'll start to... yard line. A good starting spot for the Saints as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. To throw, Winston. Flushed out right. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Kamara up the middle. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
A gain of 9 brings up 3rd and 1.
Here's Kamara, try to run for it. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
Winston now to throw on first down. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. Winston. Looking for Landry, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Denzel Perryman. That is a tough way to start the 3rd quarter. You get the football, hoping to drive it down, put it in the end zone, and take the lead. Instead, they give him the football.
And I think the key here is for them to not get discouraged. That is not how they drew it up, not how they saw it in their minds. But there's a long way to go in this game. You know, they just got to find a way to come back one play at a time. Yes, it's a cliche, but they can get it done.
The Carr's throw complete here to Waller. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
From just shy of midfield, Carr. Looking for Cooks, and it's intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. And the Saints will take over possession here up at the 44. Well, he went on the move there and started rolling out. I thought there was a window, but that window closed quickly, intercepted.
And sometimes, despite how big your arm talent is, you don't get enough on a throw when you're on the move as opposed to setting your feet and stepping into one. That may have been the case there, and the defense certainly benefited.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
And they'll hold him to 3 there as he takes this up to the 47.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Now Winston. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to get them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. They'll score it at a 36-yard punt, and the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak. And, oh, Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Raiders are going to take possession here at their own 33. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secure before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Isaac Yedem picks it, and the return here will go to the 31-yard line. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick six last week. Not a pick six here, but an interception.
That's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept the pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. A 10th carry for Kamara. He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29.
He's tackled at the 29-yard line. A gain of 2 brings up 3rd and 7.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Winston. Flush to his right. And he's got the hook up to Landry. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
On 1st and 10, Winston. Touchdown! Taysom Hill, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Saints will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Winston to throw for it. Sliding out of the pocket. And he's got it. So they try for 2 successful. And that bumps their lead up even further. After the touchdown, runs to kick it off. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. To try again after the sack. Carr, he finds his man, complete. It's Jacobs. And down he'll go at the 25.
I like the thinking there because right after a sack, it can be a great time to call for a screen to your running back and use the eagerness of the defense against him. Able to gain some positive yards out of this one and make things a little bit easier for him on 3rd down.
And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. 3 quarters in the books. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Carr going to throw. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter, and find their way open.
Open man, that's Renfro. And he's out of bounds, almost gets to the 10. A Raider first down, Carter Renfro.
Good yardage on the completion there. When they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. On 2nd and 10, Carr. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Cameron Jordan wreaking havoc with a sack. So now Carr and the Raiders dealt a 3rd and long after that sack. They'll look to throw here. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Isaac Yianum in there to pick it. And the Saints are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. And that pretty much has been the storyline, Charles. This defense, they seem to be one step ahead from the start of the game until now.
And you identified it perfectly, and we can see the frustration that's settling in now. And it's probably been there for a long time, but now it's evident because you can see it in their faces, you can see it in their body language, maybe even a little bit in that play call that ended up maybe closing them out.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Bringing him down defensively, Jayon Brown. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Again, it's Kamara. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. And 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball. You often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. Jameis now on 1st down. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
Out routes are always timing routes, and if the timing's off just a little bit, it can really throw off a play. It looked like he let him a little too much there.
Yeah, there was a fraction of a second because he caught it, just couldn't stay in bounds. Trying to run down some clock with Kamara. And this will wind up as Saints' 1st down as he's able to get this up past the 40. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys, they're just saying, let's just keep running it out, and we've got them now.
2 first downs have him up to the 41 now for 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
They're a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. It's 3rd and 3.
Brings up 3rd and 3.
Here's Winston. He is going to find Hill here. And he's got room. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
At the 41-yard line.
So this one, a victory here for New Orleans. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think they thought at all that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were